Welcome to Free Thoughts from Freedom Chiropractic and Rehab, your space for health, healing, and insight. I'm Dr. Chip Bleem, and this is episode number 52. If you find these videos to be helpful, just hit that subscribe button and join us for more free thoughts every week. We share simple ideas to help you move better, feel better, and live with more freedom. Thank you for being a part of our community. This week's quote of the week comes from Hippocrates. It's a powerful observation from the father of medicine. He once said, "Everything in excess is opposed to nature, but to know the rhythms of the seasons and the stars is to know the health of man." Now, Hippocrates didn't have access to modern labs or genetic sequencing. He couldn't measure molecular clocks or identify circadian genes in our DNA. But what he did have was something we've largely lost, a deep clinical intuition. He understood that the human body isn't a static machine. It's a living, rhythmic reflection of the planet itself. Listen, we're not just living on Earth. We are shaped by its 24-hour rotation. Our biology is synced to the light and dark, activity and rest, and seasons of effort and seasons of recovery. Fast forward to today, and we've traded that wisdom for an always-on lifestyle. We flood the darkness with LED lights. We erase seasons with climate control and fuel exhaustion with caffeine and convince ourselves that 3 a.m. is a perfectly reasonable time to perform at our best. But buried deep in your DNA, inside every organ, every tissue, and every cell, is a clock that doesn't care about deadlines, notifications, or your Netflix queue. That clock is your circadian rhythm. And when we work with it, not against it, we don't just feel better, we function the way that nature has intended. Okay, let's talk about health. Today we're going to talk about something that's quietly running your entire day, and you might not even realize it. It's your circadian rhythm. The word circadian comes from two Latin words, circa, meaning around, and diem, meaning day. So your circadian rhythm literally means around a day. It's your body's internal clock, running on roughly a 24-hour cycle, telling you when to feel alert and when to wind down, when to repair and when to rest. And this isn't just a human thing. Almost every living organism on the planet, from mammals all the way down to simple bacteria, run on some version of this clock. That's how fundamental it is. All right, so one of the easiest ways to understand is to imagine your body as a massive corporation. For that company to run well, meaning you feel healthy, focused, and energized, every department has to work on the same schedule. You've got the energy department handling metabolism, the maintenance crew managing immune function and cellular repair, and the operations team keeping your brain sharp and alert. Now, I want you to imagine if the maintenance crew were to start buffing the floors while sales is in the middle of a big pitch. It'd be chaos, right? But that's what happens inside your body when these systems run at the wrong time. Repair processes are supposed to happen when you're resting, not when you're digesting a heavy meal or pushing through a stressful day. Timing matters. Each cell in our body is like an instrument in an orchestra. They can all play that instrument and read the music, but just like an orchestra, all those musicians need a conductor. That conductor is a tiny structure in your brain called the Suprachiasmatic Nucleus, or SCN. It's only about 20,000 neurons, which is really tiny by standards of the brain, but it has enormous influence. It sits right above where your optic nerves cross, and that location is no accident. Your eyes contain special light-sensing cells that don't help you see shapes or colors. Their job is simply to measure light, especially the blue light from the morning sun. When they detect that light, they send a direct signal to the SCN. And once the SCN gets that signal, it issues the morning's orders. Stop melatonin, turns the sleep mode off. Release cortisol, it's your natural wake-up hormone. And raise your body temperature. Metabolism and movement are starting to come online. In other words, light tells your body what time it is. When you skip morning light, maybe you go straight from bed to a dim room or an office with no windows, your conductor doesn't get a clear signal. The orchestra starts drifting and the brain might think it's early morning while your liver thinks it's lunchtime. That's why grogginess isn't just, quote, being tired. It's being out of sync. It's one of the simplest health upgrades you can make. No supplements required. It's this: get natural light early in the day. It helps your entire system play the same song at the same tempo. And when your body's rhythm is aligned, everything works better, from energy and focus to sleep and recovery. That's the power of your circadian rhythm. And that's why timing really is everything. It's time to share some good news. Today I want to share a little heart-touching story that shows how much a simple act of compassion can make a huge impact on someone else's life. During the severe winter storm that swept across most of the US last week, a store manager in northern Texas named Faris Hussein saw someone in desperate need and he acted. Amid dangerously cold temperatures, a homeless woman named Bobby was found outside the Evans Food Mart, freezing and unable to move. Without hesitation, he ran out into the storm, lifted her into his arms, and brought her inside to safety. Her body was so cold she was nearly frozen solid. While medics were called afterward, and her condition was serious enough to require hospital care, Bobby's reaction captured exactly what this moment was all about. Once she began warming up, she looked at Faris and said, "I love you. Thank you so much." What's truly inspiring is how Faris brushed off the praise for what he did. He didn't see himself as a hero, just someone doing what any decent person might do for a neighbor in need. But in that moment, his courage literally saved a life and reminded all of us what community looks like when we step up for one another. So today's good news isn't just about survival. It's about the compassion that still lives in everyday people and how one choice to help can mean everything to someone else.